Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Guitar Guts podcast hosted by me, Mark Murray. My guest today is the awesome Omar J, at Omar J Guitar on Instagram. This guy is a busy fella. He just got back from Berkeley. I don't know exactly what he was doing there, so we're going to talk to him. He was there only for a short time, maybe a summer program. I saw that he was traveling overseas for a little bit, so I'm not exactly sure all the stories behind this stuff. Hey guys, before we get into the episode, I wanted to let you know that the Halloween album that I did with all my friends is out now. It's streaming all over the place under the band name The California Werewolves. Put it on your Halloween playlist, play it all month at work, tell your friends about it, play it at your Halloween parties, bookmark it for next year. We did metal versions of This Is Halloween, Dragula, The Misfits, the Ghostbusters theme song, Dead Man's Party, Somebody's Watching Me, Thriller, and more. It came out really awesome. I'm really proud of it, and if you want a physical CD, I'm only doing burned copies, but they're going to be available on my website for $5 or DM me on Instagram, and I'll set you up with my PayPal information. It's streaming everywhere now. Amazon Prime, Apple Music, iTunes, Deezer, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Google Play, YouTube, iHeartRadio, Spotify, Pandora, Napster. I mean, it's everywhere. So wherever you get your music, go check it out now under the California Werewolves, or check it out under my page on any of those under Mark Murray, and you'll find it there too. Stay tuned at the end of the podcast, and I'm going to play another track off it. This Is Halloween by the Citizens of Halloween, a.k.a. Danny Elfman, one of the theme songs from The Nightmare Before Christmas. Now let's get into the podcast. Omar!
Oh, hey.
How's it going, man?
I'm good. How about you?
Doing pretty good.
I'm just trying to angle. Does this look fine to you? I mean,
yeah, it looks
good to me.
Good lighting, nice clean bedroom. You made your bed today. I appreciate that.
Yep. I wanted to make sure it looked perfectly fine, just in case. And I moved the rack near me. You can't see it right now, but like I don't usually have my rack of guitars here, just in case, and everything.
Perfect.
So yeah, good. Oh, hey, you're using those status audio headphones. That's cool.
Yeah.
Hey, you're using.
I saw that you did a giveaway on your page for some status. Did they hit you up too?
Yeah, I got them too. They sent me a pair, but I already had a pair of Audio Technicas with me. I love them, but my brother stole them from me. My little brother took them, and he loves them. But they're great headphones.
Yeah, my speakers crapped out on me a couple weeks ago, so they're still here for no reason, but I need to get some new speakers, and the ones I'm looking at are like $600. I'm like, damn. So these guys came through like right in the perfect time for me.
They're great for mixing, seriously.
Yeah, I'm surprised for a company that I've never heard of before. They make some nice speakers or headphones.
Mm-hmm. Plus, they're not too famous, which is odd for like what the quality is. It's great. It really is great. It's such a flat-sounding headphone. You can really mix freely with them. I love them.
By the way, we are not getting paid to say this, but yeah, they are good stuff.
I know. Yeah.
So, dude, how are you doing? I saw that you just got back from Berkeley. I saw you were overseas traveling for a little bit. You got a new guitar. I mean, you've been busy as hell.
It's been a really busy summer. It's been a crazy summer. It's been great, though. I really was very excited for it. I really called it my like little musical summer, I'd say, mainly because of Berkeley and the new guitar. And the month overseas, I was just going back home for about a month-long vacation. That was pretty long. And yeah, it was pretty much.
Where are you from? What's your home country?
It's from Lebanon, which is in the Middle East. It's like a small country over there, if you haven't heard of it, right near Syria and Dubai. Under Turkey, I'd say. That's where I was born and raised my whole life for 18 years, and then that's when I moved to the States to start with college. So I've only been here for about 2 years.
Wow, dude. I thought you lived here almost all your life because you sound like you're from here. You have like very little accent. I know a few Lebanese people, and they have the strong accent usually. It's like, you sound very Americanized, man. Were you practicing for a long time before you moved here?
I mean, ever since I was younger, my parents put me in a school where they made sure, I don't want to say the primary language was English, but they taught us English and Arabic, which is what we spoke over there. Not exactly equally, but they made sure we had our English pretty much down. It was more of an American program type thing in the school, and I was in that program until I turned 18. So we did a lot of reading in English, a ton of reading in English. They made sure our accent was perfect. Not everyone was able to achieve the accent, I'd say. But Yeah, it worked out for a bunch of people.
Dude.
That's pretty much it. We always had of moving here when I got to college, and that's why, basically.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Did your whole family move here at the same time?
I mean, my dad is still there because of work, but me and my mom and my little brother, we're here now. Basically, he's going to school here, and she's just living here while he works over there. He's trying to see whether or not in the near future he could probably move here too, but for now, because of work, he's over there, and we're here for school and staying here.
You guys picked Florida, huh?
Well, I don't want to say I picked it. I honestly didn't know anything about the states and where we used to come here almost every summer throughout the past 10 years, but I didn't know exactly where we should live. But my dad lived here throughout the 80s, late 70s, early 80s, and he said Florida would be best. I honestly don't know why. I'm not saying I don't like it, but I honestly think we could have picked something better because of the weather.
It's so
I
funny.
hate the weather here.
Because I'm from California, the reputation Florida has, it's like, the United States has so many different regions, and like some of it is surfer areas, some of it's business areas, we have fashion areas, then we have the whole middle of the country, which is kind of like more slow life and all that. To us in California, Florida's the craziest area. And I hear that we're the crazy guys to everybody else. California's crazy, but Florida, there's like crocodiles everywhere, alligators everywhere or something, and always there's crazy stories coming out of Florida.
That's funny, honestly, because that is the exact opposite of what people here think, especially my mom, too, and almost everyone I met, mainly California being the crazy part, even though we have a bunch of crazy stuff here, like you just mentioned about the alligators and stuff. And since we did mention California, my mom's dream, I guess is to say, to have lived there. Not saying that's still impossible, but she always used to watch her videos back home about California and Hollywood and stuff like that, and she just loved it so much. And my dad was like, that is the land, well, in his accent, that is the land of the earthquakes. We are not going there. We are coming to Florida or something. And yeah.
Yeah, it's true. We just had one like a month ago or 2 months ago or something. And dude, it was a rocking one. It was crazy.
Really?
I mean, nothing bad happened. My guitars, I have guitars hanging on my walls in my bedroom, and they started moving back and forth a couple inches, just like you do right there, actually. And so the guitars all started to just tap the wall. They weren't like banging around or anything crazy, but it's freaky when you're, sitting there watching a movie with your girl, and all of a sudden everything starts shaking all crazy. Like, just gets your heart going a little.
So it is a regular thing there, basically, kind of.
In the early 90s, I'm 32, so in 1994 in California, there was a fucking huge earthquake. Like this one, tons of buildings fell down, and they changed a lot of the building codes, so now our buildings are like way stronger. It costs way more money to get a permit or to build any buildings here now, but our stuff is made to withstand gigantic earthquakes. So back in the 90s, there was a big one, and then there was a bunch of aftershocks probably for like a week, but they get smaller and smaller until they just stop happening. And then for the next 20-something years, we've hardly had any. I mean, once in a while we'll have a little one, but we haven't really felt any for a long time. So they say that the tectonic plates build up pressure over all these years, and that when it goes a long time without one, that's when you're expected to have a really big one because tons of pressure is built up. But if you have small ones throughout the years, it kind of relieves some of it. So they said that this one that was recent was not even on the same fault line, so it really didn't relieve our pressure. So we should still be having another big one sometime soon in my area, which is so fun to think about. But we don't have hurricanes, so I guess that's something.
Okay.
Have you lived through any crazy hurricanes since you've been in Florida?
We lived through one, actually. I forgot what it was called. I'm not sure if it was Irma or not, which the recent one, somewhere around this time last year, end of summer last year or October of last year, we heard of it coming in, and they said it was going to be pretty big. A lot of people exaggerated more than they should have. And because of that, I'm not going to say exaggerated. It was all over CNN, and they were talking about how big it was going to be, one of the biggest ones in the past while, I'd say in the past couple of years, bigger than that big one they had a couple of years ago. So I honestly got pretty scared, and we didn't know what we could have done. And then we went out and we started walking around the neighborhood, and we saw everyone, all the houses, like everyone was ready. Everyone knew what they were doing. They had wood all over the windows. They just had pieces of wood all over covering all the houses. Some people even covered the doors with wood, every single door. You couldn't see anything other than just the brick wall of the houses. And so I honestly, not going to lie, I got pretty worried, and I told my mom we should go to one of those shelters there. they're like they're setting up. They set up shelters in like school gyms and high school gyms all over the place. So we went to my little brother's middle school gym, and we just stayed there for the night of when they said the eye of the hurricane was going to come on top of us. And it was pretty big. We went over there. We stayed there. We were not prepared at all. Everyone went over there with a bunch of made beds and stuff and food, and we just showed up. We thought everything was going to be ready, so we just stayed up all night, or we had to sleep on the floor. We heard it. They had a countdown. They try to make it fun. They had a little countdown at like 12 a.m. when the big eye was right on top of the gym. And we heard everything. It was pretty scary. It was honestly pretty scary. We could even see the roof of the gym start shaking and stuff. The sound was intense. I have never heard thunder and lightning like that. I've heard some really strong thunder, but not like what I heard over there at the gym. It was intense, and the shaking just scared the living hell out of me. But then it made me realize that, it wasn't too much. It was pretty, you can tell it was strong, and if you went outside, you would probably be pushed a little bit by that wind. But I honestly don't think it's as exaggerated as everyone else said, so I think we would have been fine at home. Although, when we did come back home, there was one window that was shattered. So I am glad we weren't there for the night. But for the next ones, I'd say maybe we'd be better off home, just prepare with the wood and the stuff.
So it's not like a tornado or something where it's just going to rip your whole house down.
It wasn't like that. It was just a bunch of clouds, but not really a bunch of clouds. The clouds probably surpassing 10 to 15 miles. You could not see sky anymore. And just crazy rain, crazy winds. Not winds that they said over CNN for some reason. If you have your car outside, your car is going to move. No, it wasn't like that. But it is hard to walk around. I heard some friends that walked outside during the eye being on top of us. It was pretty hard to walk. But it's not as intense as people exaggerate it to be. But still, I'm not recommending anyone to go outside and walk during the hurricane.
Yeah.
Anything. But you should end just staying home, honestly.
I saw that you just got back from Berkeley. So you were there for like a summer program or something?
Mm-hmm. So the beginning of summer, I was just scrolling through Instagram. On the feed, and I saw an ad, one of those sponsored ads by Berkeley, and it showed a 5-week intensive summer course they offer almost every summer for students to it's called the 5-week Berkeley intensive summer course. I guess they got a bunch of summer programs, and this 5-week one was the longest one. And it's supposed to give students a bit of insight of what studying at Berkeley is like. And it's like, I say it's one of the university's ways to get new students into the university. And it's basically just to go to Berkeley for 5 weeks and basically be a student for a semester there that is 5 weeks long. And you actually get college credit for it. So it is basically another college semester for the summer at Berkeley. And basically to just get a taste of what studying at Berkeley or any music school is like. And I'm still, the past couple of years, been studying here at college, still trying to decide what I want to major in. And I've always wanted to go to a music school. And this seemed like a great opportunity. So I checked it out and I applied for it. I got a tiny scholarship, not a full scholarship, a tiny scholarship to be able to go there. So they helped out a little bit with the price. And I went. And I was able to study there for 5 weeks, get a taste of what studying over there is like. It was awesome. And a bunch of performances, a bunch of shows, and a bunch of playing. Like, that's basically all you do. You're with your guitar all day. I loved it so much. And now I'm back. I guess I learned a lot from it, too. It helped out a lot with musicianship and you as a musician by yourself, and how, like, basically, how am I supposed to say this? I'm sorry, I'm running out of words. Basically just helping you grow as a musician in just 5 weeks, and probably get you to become a full-time student there if you were able to get a scholarship, because I don't see myself paying for that school anytime soon because they are crazy expensive. But that's pretty much it. Bunch of performances, bunch of classes, bunch of studying, bunch of assignments, just another school semester, but at Berkeley. It was a really awesome summer. I'd say awesome 5 weeks during summer. I never thought I'd be able to go there to study for that.
So do they have like dorms? You go in there on your first couple of days before school starts, I'm guessing. You set up your bedroom, bring your guitar or whatever, bring some gear. And do you share do you have your own room? Like, how does this all work?
No. It all had shared. All rooms had either 2 or 3 students in them. I had a room with just another student in there. We got there on Friday. School was supposed to start on Monday, so we had a whole weekend to get ready in the room, get ready to meet all the other students living with you at the dorms. And yeah, you did have a choice to just pay for the program and go there and find some place to live at and just commute and go to the program. But I don't know anyone at Boston at the time. We couldn't find an Airbnb that was very convenient enough to just walk to school, I'd say. So I ended up going and staying in the dorms at school. And I honestly want to say, even though it was crazy expensive and got rid of all my savings, it was worth it, because staying at school, staying in an environment where everyone else is a musician too, living with them, practicing with them, really gave more to this full experience of studying at a music school. So I'm glad I got to stay at the dorms over there. And yeah, that's pretty much it. They just gave us the first weekend, have fun, have a little fun before they hit us with all that studying and all those shows and all the work we had to do. Yeah.
How many classes a day would you say you went to on average?
See, my schedule looked like, I do remember my Thursdays only had 2 classes, meaning I went to class from 10 in the morning till 12 p.m. and then I had the whole day to myself to either just have fun or just practice. Schedules look like between Monday and Friday, except for Thursday, starting from 9 in the morning all the way to 3 to 4 p.m., some half hour to 1 hour breaks in between. And then maybe some days had another class at like 6 or 7 at night, or some band practice or some ensemble practice where we would book a room just for ourselves because teachers would choose students to play in a band together and we would have to go practice. So I consider those practice sessions as other classes because it did take 2 hours a day and 2 hours out of the day. And regarding how many classes we had, I'd say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I had about 12 classes in total, all divided throughout the week. One of them was a private lesson that was only half hour. That was something the college offered. Every student had their own half hour throughout the week where they would meet with a private instructor, depending on their specific instrument, just to check what they need to be working on, how they're progressing throughout the week. And every other class revolved around either, for example, we had a theory class, we had a musicianship class, which consisted of a lot of solfege, basically singing notes, singing pitches, making sure you had your pitch down. Other classes were all there was this weird class. There was this one weird class called Movement for Musicians. So what I thought it was I was going into some class with my guitar on stage, and they were going to teach us movement on stage, basically getting comfortable with your guitar or with your instrument on stage. But I went into this tiny little room that looked like a room where they did ballet, and room with a bunch of mirrors and stuff, and everyone was in their socks. I was like, what is going on here? Turns out it was like a movement, stretching, yoga, meditating type thing. It was like movement that musicians needed because they are always so focused on their theory and their solfege and their stuff, where we had 2 hours out of the week where we would just go either do some stretching that was specified for musicians, and yoga I honestly did enjoy, and the meditating, which I honestly did enjoy. I have never done meditation before in my life or yoga, and it was honestly pretty cool. I got to, I guess, like the teacher says, feel some things you never got to feel in a way while doing those stretches, and they really did help out, honestly.
Wow, that's
with
crazy.
All the tiring.
Are you planning on incorporating that into any of your videos soon?
I mean, the movement, I don't think so. I don't see myself making a video showing people some different types of movements that would help them out depending on what instrument they play. Not a bad thing, though. That's not a bad idea.
Because a lot of your videos have a humorous element to them. You obviously you have your chops and you shred and you're a great guitar player, but then also you have like a lot of your videos like how to impress people who don't play guitar, or like how Avenged Sevenfold writes their song. Like they're these funny videos. That would be so funny if it's like movements for guitar players or something like yoga for guitarists, and it shows you playing guitar and then doing a stretch and like going back and shredding. Maybe you can't play the riff right, and you're like, what's up? Oh, I didn't do my movements. Of course. Okay. You go over and do some stretches, and then all of a sudden you're just ripping.
That is not a bad idea whatsoever. I'm going to think about that whole. I'm going to consider that. So seriously, I might make that into a video now.
Yeah.
I did not think of that.
I think that'd be really good, because also it's real too. And there's like a lot of all the Berkeley people who have been to those classes will be like, oh my God, I know what he's talking about. This is hilarious.
Yeah, that's right. I probably do that. Seriously.
Where do you get the idea for your videos? Because like I said, they're really funny, a lot of them.
I mean, honestly, to think about it, I've been doing Instagram for now, I'd say it probably hit a year. Now, I'd say recently when I started taking it seriously, throughout the past year, I started out just jamming out, doing some covers, doing tiny little originals, and I want to say the truth, honestly, throughout my time on Instagram, I realized not a lot of people that go through Instagram to watch people playing guitar really care. I don't want to say it's everyone, but I want to say most of the population on Instagram that are watching guitar videos really are interested anymore in a bunch of people just sitting down on camera, just sitting down playing the guitar, playing some cover, playing some riff they wrote that day. I mean, I thought maybe there has to be something a little bit more, something to spice it up, something to add to it, something that would make more people click on that cover of that video just so they can open it. Probably certain texts on the video or just some certain face or some certain movements that they would make them press. Anything that would give people, that would put a smile on people's faces that is not what I'm playing only, but probably my movements or the message in the video or the wording or the text in the video, something that would make them enjoy it that is not only my music or my playing that's making them enjoy it. Anything that would add a little spice to it, basically. That's how I looked at it. And it really made me realize that a lot of people like to see that. So every now and then I try to incorporate a little bit of humor or a little bit of I'd say words of wisdom with a little bit of message at the end, or maybe just some stupid faces or being extra with your movements, just to have something that'll attract people that is not only your playing. What I realized is that you either have to be crazy talented, crazy insane, just someone coming out of the room, like was probably stuck in the room for about 10 years with a locked door playing the guitar and just came out and is doing something that not a lot of people have seen with the guitar, or doing something different, playing something almost like everyone else can play, but just adding a little bit of humor or some fun, anything really, anything that can be fun. And you know that too. I've seen some of your videos with that stuff too. Anything that would add a little spice to it too.
Yeah, I'll cut a guitar in half just to make people laugh. Get people to freak out, throw it under a saw. Yeah, I noticed when you first started Instagram, you were doing like riff of the week, and you were doing more cover songs, and now it's morphed, and it's really cool. Where did you start learning how to edit video? Because you also have an interesting, stylish way of zooming and panning and doing all these cool effects.
So about the video was honestly what I did at first was when I first started Instagram, I just Googled up some free video editing software and I couldn't find anything. So I just downloaded the what's it called? The trial version, the free version of some program. What was it called? Let me see over here because I think I do still have it, because that was before I started using. Oh, it's called Filmora, Wondershare Filmora. I got a trial version of that, and all I did was I just checked it out. I opened up a YouTube video, how to add an audio over a video, because throughout the past years, I kind of learned how to record myself using an interface. Not really want to say the greatest mixer of all time, just being able to play a riff and just keep it there and save it. Basically, I'll just play something, save it up, put it up in that program, and I learned through YouTube how to put a video and just put audio on top of it, some riff, and just post it up on YouTube, just save the video and post it up on Instagram, and that's how it all started. Then as Instagram developed, and my time through Instagram developed, I started to get serious with it. I found a really good student discount program with Adobe. I don't know if you say Adobe or Adobe. A lot of people say different things. Adobe Premiere Pro. Got a really good student discount with them, and I started using Premiere Pro, and I started to slowly learn either through YouTube or either from my knowledge of just being able to put a video and put an audio on top and trying to see what I can do with them. Basically, just started doing the same thing with Premiere, and then the zooming thing, that started, I loved that. That was after I started following McRocklin. I'm sure you know McRocklin. You've spoken to him before, too. I know that. I noticed a lot of zooming in his videos throughout timed little licks, and he would just zoom the camera in on a specific finger movement. It could be one note he's playing. He'd just zoom it in, then zoom back out, then zoom back in on a second note. And I just loved it so much, and I noticed not a lot of other people are doing the same thing, and he's probably the only one, and he's already got a big following. So I incorporated that into some of my playing, and I loved it so much that I started doing it intensely, and some people even got annoyed and say, "You're doing that too much." So people started DMing me saying, "What's up with all the zooming?" And I'm like, "I like it. Come on." But I loved it so much. I try to, diminish the use of it just a little bit, but that's, I'd say, McRocklin's inspiration of his videos and editing is where I got my zooming for it too. And after learning that, I just started to learn by myself how to use Premiere and how to edit videos. Also want to say, not the greatest video editor of all time whatsoever. Basically just adding my videos, taking different camera angles, adding them together, setting them up to sync well with the audio, and just adding some zooms and probably adding some text for some humor or anything just to get people's attention. That's basically all I do. Nothing really, I'd say, hard. Probably anything anyone can do with just about 2 hours worth of time just starting up with the program, really.
Yeah, but the difference with that 2 hours between that and then somebody who just sets their phone down and maybe plays their stereo in the background and then plays their amp there, like that, it doesn't sound as good. It doesn't look as good. I mean, like you were saying, there's a stylish element, and with all there's 3 years ago I started Instagram, I think, for guitar like 3 years ago or so. There was hardly any guitarists on there, so if you were good, you could just set your camera down and that was it. People would watch those videos, but now there's thousands and thousands of guitarists out there playing every band, guys shredding, like guys with like 500 followers, but they're monsters. I'm like, geez, it's insane now that people go to Instagram for the visual, but also as guitar players, we want someone who can play really well. But I think all that stuff, that's what makes the difference. That's why you're having such a quick rise, I think.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. That's what I feel like I'd say really does make the difference, basically stylish. And that's why I said not everyone wants to just sit down on their phone and watch some guy sitting on a couch, probably recorded audio, probably haven't, but just sitting down and staring at that damn fretboard and just playing along. Not saying it's a bad thing. Could sound great. I always try to focus more on the audio than the visual when I'm watching something like that. And I may enjoy it. I may love it because it just sounds awesome. But this coming from me, which is a guitarist perspective, I do want to hear what I'm watching. A lot of people really just, I want to say, hear with their eyes. People that don't play guitar but do follow people that do play guitar and enjoy the videos. I mean, yeah, that's pretty much it.
What is your following? Would you say it's mostly guitar players and musicians, or do you think it's split? Because when I look at it, it seems to me like you have a lot of non-musician followers as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't want to say I know almost every single one from them that would probably be a musician, but most of them, I'd say at least, I don't want to say at least half, a little bit more, at least 65% would be musicians. And then the other half, basically the other 4,000-5,000 people, I would say are not musicians, because I've gotten a decent amount of DMs from people that have either never touched a guitar before or probably do have a little musical background, but have never touched a guitar before and want some advice on where to start, or people that have never done any music whatsoever and have told me, dude, I just love your videos on all. I mean, I don't even follow guitar players that well, but there's something about you that I really like. So I would say from that, I could tell that there are some people that aren't musicians, less than half. I mean, yeah, since at least 65% would be musicians, because I have spoken to a lot of people that are decent musicians, even great musicians, you being one of the examples too, but a lot of people. And most of the community too, so most of them were all together too. But yeah, at least 35%, I'd say, are not well-rounded musicians.
When you first started on Instagram, was your motivation to be like a next? Because I saw one of your first posts was you ran into Jared Dines and took a picture with him and posted it. Was he one of the guys that you kind of looked at and thought, like, he's doing it, I think I can do this too, or were you just do you want to become a famous guitarist like him?
The starting Instagram has a little background story to it. Should I explain it? It's a pretty long story, please. Not too. So basically, the Jared Dines picture, that was just the first couple months I started Instagram. I heard Jared Dines was coming with his band to just play in Florida, so I just went and saw them. That's pretty much it. And yes, he has been a huge inspiration to me. I always used to watch the guy. I've been watching him he's probably the only guy I've watched for so long on YouTube that has anything to do with guitar. It's been about 3 or 4 years, I'd say. But other than that, like I said, I've only been in the States for 2 years now. And I came here with a plan, I guess you could say, because I have been playing guitar for about 8 years now, and I just love it with a passion like no other. And I just love music so much. I came here because I've always wanted to play in a band and just be able to make my living out of playing in a band and just playing music out and playing live and writing music for a living, basically. The first year I was here, I did a lot of research online and a lot of searching for other musicians in the area. I did a lot of Craigslist and a lot of music websites which asked for money so that you could be able to meet other musicians in the area. And I took it pretty seriously trying to find other people. But that 1 year did not go well whatsoever. It was really bad. It revolved around either people lying about their skills, some people lying about their age, which was pretty odd. And a lot of people telling me stuff over the phone that was nothing, that was the complete opposite of what they turned out to be when I went to meet them. So I wasted a lot of time, money, and gas just trying to meet new people and do something, and nothing ever worked out well. So that's when I turned to social media, and I was like, all my favorite players are on social media. Everyone does this. A lot of people on Instagram do this, and it is such a big community. I thought, let me just put myself in there and see what I can do. Maybe I can open up myself to more opportunity through there. You did ask, you want to become a famous player. I would want to say my path and my approach for it would be more to grow and be able to play in a band and write music, because that, I want to say, is my big rock star cliche dream, which is what I have. I wouldn't say what Jared Dines does is exactly what I want to do, which is not wrong. Obviously, a lot of YouTube guitarists are doing very well. Even Instagram guitarists are doing very well and are doing great. But I wouldn't say that is my main approach to what I want to do. I just feel like it would probably open up some opportunity for me to probably be able to soon be able to write in a band and perform live with a band and just be able to make a living out of a band doing what I love. I would rather be doing that than sitting down and recording videos all the time. Not that I don't love it. I love it so much. And that's what I've been doing the past year, I'd say, just to see maybe I can open up myself to more opportunity out there.
Well, first off, I must say I'm very impressed that you've been playing for 8 years and you're already this good, because, dude, I thought you've been playing for like 15 years or so. You're 20 years old, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Yeah, so okay, so you started when you were about 12. Okay, that's great. I guess you're just so young that you still I can't wait to see how crazy good you're going to be in like 10 years. When you were back home in Lebanon, did you ever meet up with any musicians and start a band?
Mm-hmm. Back when we turned about 16, 17, we started to look into it a little bit more. I found other musicians in my school or people outside of school, formed a little band with some best friends that were actually pretty good musicians. I had this one drummer that's one of my best friends, and he's such an amazing drummer that I had the privilege of playing in a band with him. And we had a band with a rhythm guitarist and a bassist and a singer. These three people always changed throughout the next 2 years between the ages of 16 and 18 throughout high school. But honestly, it was pretty good. It was awesome. And doing that is what made me realize this is what I want to do with my life. We were able to play out in a bunch of bars throughout Lebanon. And we even played what started it was a battle of the bands. One of the radio companies in Lebanon was hosting some battle of the bands back in 2015 or 16, somewhere around that. I'm not sure. So me and my drummer decided to look for musicians really fast. So we found a singer and a bassist, and we just went up and played, and we were able to get this, I think, second place over there. And after that, it just kicked off together. We started playing shows every now and then. It wasn't too much. I'd say it was a show almost every month, or probably a big show every couple months, a decently big show. But it was mostly bars. And also, most of the bar shows, we were able to get paid for them. So that was pretty exciting for a bunch of teenagers at like 16 and 17 getting paid to play music live. And we were actually playing stuff that we liked. That's why we loved it so much. We were going up and jamming up some heavy metal at some small blues bar, some small jazz bar, or some classic rock bar. And it was just really a time of our lives. And that was pretty much the last time I'd say I was seriously playing in a band.
So metal, you want to be in a metal band still?
That's what I used to play most of my life. That's what I grew up living. I did grow up as a metalhead. I did grow up learning metal guitar throughout my life. And I don't want to say playing, well, that's what I always wanted to do, because my favorite band is, as everyone probably already knows, Avenged Sevenfold. These are the guys that inspired me the most. I would like to play music like them if I were to be in a band. But the market is so hard nowadays. I do know I have to look into the market, because I did say I want to be able to play music and play music live and make a living out of it and just be able to live off that. Nowadays, it is very hard. So I would, if I had the choice of either playing metal but not being able to live through it, live from it, I would rather pick something that is closer to what the market is looking for, or what the companies are looking for, that would probably be able to help you live off of. I am no way saying that I would want to play genres that I hate or just don't play whatsoever. I don't hate genres, just genres that I don't see myself playing at all just to get paid for. No, I do want to play something that I do enjoy. So if I were to lean away from heavy metal, farthest thing I would probably lean would be going a hard rock, classic rock, because I do know there are a lot of bands out there that still work out and be able to make a living out of that. I don't want to say it only depends on luck because it doesn't, but whatever it can be, the farthest I'd lean away from that would probably be anywhere between rock or hard rock. If you've heard of bands like Paramore or Hailstorm, stuff like that, basically the softer rock version, but still has that heavy element in the guitars. Maybe not the crazy screamo element that a lot of vocalists have, because I do know that vocalists that are not screaming have probably just a little bit of a higher chance in the market when you're trying to make a living off of it. I'm not saying bands that do screamo don't make it. A lot of bands doing screamo are doing crazy money doing this, and they love it so much. But I would rather think of something that would help me out for the future and living wise, rather than just doing what I love mostly and probably not making any money out of it. If that makes sense.
Totally makes sense. I think as musicians, I have a friend that I was just talking to, Liquid Charlie, and he was saying that he got a job working at the school doing like a little music program, and then he does guitar lessons and all kinds of stuff, but he's making his living all off music. And like as musicians, it's not really our dreams to be working at a school teaching anybody, but if that's how you can make your living and pay all your bills, and you get to play guitar all day and teach people guitar, I mean, that's way better than working at Home Depot or getting a job at a white collar or blue collar job somewhere. Like making your living off music, I think that's the goal of all of us, really.
That is very true.
I was wondering, have you ever seen Avenged Sevenfold live?
Yes, it was. Have I seen him once or twice? I think no, I've seen him once. Metallica was twice. It was once. The reason I was thinking twice was because I've seen Metallica twice. I saw Avenged once, and it was when they were opening up for Metallica. Them and Volbeat were opening up for Metallica, and this was in Minnesota. We didn't live here at the time, but we were in Florida because we were getting ready to move here. It was, I think, one summer before we moved here, so probably the summer of 2016. We were just here on vacation for a month and getting ready. We were looking for houses, getting our IDs in Florida, getting our IDs so we can get ready for the move for next summer. And I just see some ad pop up of a big show. It was like the kickoff show for the big Metallica tour, and Avenged and Volbeat were playing for them. And it was actually Avenged Sevenfold's first stadium show with their new drummer when Brooks Wackerman entered the band. And they were playing up in Minnesota to start it off. So I think I was 16 or 17 at the time. So I didn't really have my own money at the time or worked. So I just looked at my dad and I was like, Dad, you know these guys. You know how much I love them. We're going to Minnesota this weekend. No, we are not thinking of it. So we just checked online, canceled all the plans we had for the weekend, found the cheapest tickets we can with the cheapest airlines we can just to get to Minnesota. And thank God that my dad had one friend he knew over there. So that probably gave me a little slight budge up there to make my dad say yes for it. So we were able to go there, got a hotel room for one night and stay there. I got to watch the show. He got to see his friend. It was awesome. I went alone, but I mean, I didn't care. Avenged, Volbeat. I didn't know Volbeat at the time. I love them. But Avenged and Metallica, Jesus Christ, that was the best night of my life. It was my first time seeing Metallica live, too. And it was amazing. It was amazing.
So you're a big Metallica fan, too?
I wouldn't say at the moment I still listen to Metallica a lot, but they were one of my biggest inspirations for growing up. I used to listen to them all the time. I learned many of their songs. They've helped me as a player while growing up a lot. I will always love them, but I do not want to say I listen to them all the time, because even Avenged Sevenfold, they are my all-time favorite metal band, but I don't listen to them much anymore. But they will always be my favorite. Metallica will also always have a place in my heart, even though I probably don't listen to them much. But if I know they're coming to Florida anytime soon and it's convenient and it's decently priced, too, because it hasn't been that decently priced nowadays, I would definitely go. I love them.
Yeah, I saw them on that same tour. I saw them in Los Angeles, and then like a week later they were in San Diego. So I bought tickets to both of them and went to both. And, dude, Metallica, they're on fire right now. Like, if you watch their videos throughout the years, they've had their ups and downs. But right now, they're insane. And then I've never been before that a big Avenged fan, but man, they surprised me live. They crushed it. Their guitar players, both of them shred. The drummer's a beast. It was awesome. I was blown away.
Mm-hmm. Was this that same tour back in 16 or 17 you're talking about? Oh yeah, awesome. Yep. That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
It was really cool, man.
It was awesome.
You got that Kiesel nearby? You just got a new,
new
Kiesel guitar.
My little baby. Here, let me just put the whammy on. I don't know. My little new baby. Is it showing up? No, let me put it this way so you can see it. All right, there it is. So about this guitar, I was not planning on getting a Kiesel this summer or a new guitar, but I did know that my next guitar was going to be a Strat, not necessarily a Fender or anything. I just really wanted a Strat-bodied guitar. And then Kiesel this summer comes out with a new line called the Delos guitars, and they basically, you can see that, are just Strat-bodied guitars, Strat model guitars. And I was so happy that they were doing this little Delos run, they call, where they sell guitars that are coming out in a new line for cheaper. So I went over there and I gave them a call and I got it and I chose my specs. Specs are limited. You aren't allowed to choose anything you want because it is a run and you get things for cheaper. And yeah, I was able to get this. We got a black-bodied Delos with a... They were doing roasted maple for all of them, so you couldn't choose the fretboard, but I wanted a maple. Roasted was like the cherry on top. It's darker, it's beautiful, and the body's I've never had a body like this. It's a swamp ash body. I wanted a satin feel on a guitar. I didn't want to get another gloss, so this feels just like satin. I love it so much. It's very smooth. The pickguard's gloss gives a little sexier look, I'd say, and yeah, and if you look closely, I don't know if you can see it, Jeff Kiesel, the owner, said he was going to write down in the back of it, right on the back of the neck, he was going to put his signature and then a number. This number says 79 out of 143. I don't know if you can see it. Let me see. Yeah, there it is, 79 out of 143. Basically putting down the numbers of how many guitars they made throughout this run for the cheaper specs that you could choose from. Not cheaper specs, but like, because you were getting the guitar for cheaper, he said he was going to write on it, basically. And he said you can get rid of it later. So this was the 79th guitar out of the 143 they made for that specific run, basically saying that. And yeah, I just love it so much. It's my new little baby. Never thought I'd get a Kiesel that's a Strat-bodied one, but I'm so glad they came up with this new line.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
I love
it's
it.
Classy. The maple against the satin look, and the open grain is beautiful. And how you digging that bridge?
Oh my God, I have never had a bridge like this. It's the Kiesel bridge, but I've noticed a lot of companies doing bridges like this, even Schecter too. I love the look of it. It just looks so modern. It looks so metal on such a classy Strat guitar. Yeah, I love it. I love the look of it. It's such a different type of look too. Really adds a cherry on top to it too. And I forgot what you call them, those little circles that you have on the side of the neck, the angle that you can see from.
The side markers.
These little side markers. They are, I forgot what the word is. It's like luminlay or something.
Oh.
It's like they glow in the dark or something. Like you can see them well in the dark. They got a little light yellowish color to them in the light, but in the dark they look like a light greenish type thing. They're very clear too. So basically just making sure you don't get lost. I honestly want to say I would have preferred to have two humbuckers on a guitar. I'm not a huge single coil guy. They sound great too, but I'm not huge on single coils. It's just, like I said, because you're getting the guitars for cheaper, you were very limited on specs, and we were not allowed to pick humbucker. We could only either pick 3 singles or a humbucker and 2 singles. So obviously you had to get 1 humbucker and, yeah, 2 singles with it, basically.
Dang, dude, that is a sweet axe right there.
Thank you. It's great. I love it.
I think I aspire to have some Kiesels one day. I played them. I went to NAMM a couple times and played them, and dude, they're like they're some of the best guitars ever. I feel like. Can we see the Schecter?
It's great. For sure. This one. This is my little baby. This is my favorite. It's a beast, metal beast. I haven't had this for too long either. I had this for less than a year too. I didn't think I'd get the Kiesel so soon after that. So this one I got after I bought a $300 used Schecter online, an old Schecter Omen. And I just loved it so much. I was like, if $300 felt like this, what is a high-end guitar going to feel like from this company? And I just went over and I found this on Sweetwater, and I really wanted to, I love the look of it. I really wanted a Floyd Rose guitar. Not anymore, I don't. But I mean, still love it. This one is probably my favorite one when it comes to playing metal, even though I still have that Kiesel now. It has a little classic 57 by AMG that you know, I'm sure, and love. I love this pickup to death. And the most exciting part about this guitar is the Sustainiac pickup, which literally gives me sustain for days. I swear to God, I just turn that switch on. The note just never turns off. You can just bend it with the whammy bar, take it up and down, turn it off, raise it back up. It's still playing. It just keeps on going. And this guitar even has a setting for single coil too, since you don't have a second bridge pickup. You just have a Sustainiac. The Sustainiac just gives you sustain. But if you do turn it on, it does sound like a normal pickup. Obviously not like a classic 57. And what's cool about it, you do see it's a gloss body, right? Another favorite aspect of this guitar is that its neck, even though the guitar is made of gloss, the neck has a satin feel in the back. And I would much rather have a satin feel than a glossy neck in the back, basically just for that smooth feel. And you can see it starts off right here, like the glossy back, and then it just turns to satin right here.
Dude, that is sick.
I love that.
I've never actually seen that on a guitar before. That's badass.
It's just another. Schecter is known for their Hellraisers, their classic Hellraiser guitar. This is another Hellraiser C1, but it's their Hellraiser hybrid, and I guess that's what makes it different than the others, considering it has a Sustainiac and the satin feel neck. Because that's the only difference I saw between this one and the regular Hellraisers, and probably just a higher end guitar, I'd say, and everything. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's the Floyd Rose locks and same old classic Schecter headstock with Grover tuners in the back. I love it to death. Seriously, I love this guitar to death. I don't think I am ever gonna get rid of this. Honestly,
yeah, they make beautiful stuff. Is that the stock EMG that comes in that guitar?
Mm-hmm. And I didn't even know EMG had. I never even knew of the 57 pickups until I got this guitar, and they have been out for a while. I heard, and I just love this pickup to death compared to all the other EMGs I've tried. It just sounds so tight and fat when it comes to tug resistance. I just love it.
Is the 57 active?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Okay. Mm-hmm. I've actually never played the 57. I really want to. Everyone, it's ever since Instagram, I've been seeing people love 57, 66 combinations, and I've never actually used them. So I was talking. You're also an EMG artist, right? You're sponsored by them?
Mm-hmm.
So you know Tommy, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to Tommy, and he was telling me that they're about to release the 5766 in a coil tappable version, so you can switch over to single coils whenever you want. I think they're going to announce them like officially and release them January at NAMM. So I'm going to be holding out, and I'm going to get those in one of my guitars, but I still haven't tried them yet. I want to.
That's awesome. You will seriously love them if you haven't. After I heard of this, after I got this guitar and started knowing of the 57, I did open up the EMG website and I checked out they started, you know how we have the classic 8185 set from the 80s, that classic 8185, they turned this 5766 set into their classic heavy modern metal of today type thing. And then I checked out some videos of artists playing them and checked them out with my monitor so I can clearly hear the sound, and with my headphones, and it is such a phenomenal sound, those two pickups together, especially when you change the pickup selector to the middle and have both of them play out. You get that fatness from the bridge pickup, from the neck pickup, which is a 66, and the highs from the 57. It was such a beautiful combination. Basically, any modern metal, ranging from Avenged Sevenfold, Five Finger Death Punch, any metal band you can think of today, and Slipknot and stuff like that, those pickups would probably be the perfect combination for that. 8185 is still great, but I would still rather keep them for any 80s band, 80s metal band.
Yeah, basically. Especially when you're recording like at home, the 81s, they get thick. You got to like turn your distortion way down to like get good usable tones out of them a lot of times.
They are crazy high game. That's why they were the 80s metal type thing. I love them too. I have a pair of 8185s too. I actually had them. I got them a couple of years ago before I was an artist for EMG, and I put them on a Les Paul I had, which was pretty odd, and everyone thought I was stupid for doing that. But I only had a Les Paul at the time. The pickups, the stock pickups Gibson put on it weren't great with distortion. They sounded more like it was a blues-made guitar than a heavy metal-made guitar with the pickups they chose. So I put the 8185 on it, and it just turned beautiful. I didn't care what anyone said. I loved the sound so much. It was so beautiful. Yeah. And then I took them out, put some Duncans on it.
You're not a fan of Duncans?
I am a huge fan of Duncans, but my dumbass, I heard of Seymour Duncans like 2-3 years ago, and I was like, I want to get some pickups from them because I just heard of them. you know? So I went to Guitar Center and I picked up a pack. I was like, can I have some Seymour Duncans, please? I didn't even choose what set I wanted. I literally just said that. The dude took me to where they keep them stocked inside the glass, and he just gave me the set. He was like, take this, it's great. And then it was after I got home, and then after I had someone, well, they already installed them at Guitar Center at the time because I didn't have any tech or know anyone that could do them for me, and I didn't even know how to do it. I still don't know how to install pickups, sadly. Never tried it. But yeah, I did that, and then I got home and I opened the package that I bought, and it just says Seymour Duncan JB Jazz / Blues set. And I was like, what did I just do? No, it's not. It's not that I don't want to play blues or jazz or anything like that, but I was moving from the first stock pickups to EMGs, and then I was moving to Duncans because I thought maybe those would be better than the EMGs. And then I found out I didn't choose the Seymour Duncan Invaders, which I later found out about, which were their metal pickups. I just got a jazz set. And at the time, I just kept them with me because I was younger and stupid. I was like, I'm not going to go back and return these and get them switched and anything. Just going to keep these. I still have them on there, and I actually just start using them now when I start to play a little bit of blues, basically.
Yeah, I'm actually a big fan of the jazz neck pickup. I've had it in like 2 of my guitars, I think, and when you switch over to clean, throw it up in the neck position, like it is glassy. I love that tone. But
it is a great tone.
I don't really use EMGs that much. I mean, Seymour Duncans anymore. For a few years, I had switched a bunch of my guitars over to Seymour Duncans, and then now with my EMG sponsorship, I've been getting them at an artist price. So I'm like one by one switching them all back to EMGs.
Mm-hmm. I did notice on your page recently, but you did say when you first got endorsed that you were not going to be adding EMGs to every single guitar. I know they're not on every single guitar, but from your pictures, I recently noticed you've been adding them to most of them, I'd say, because I've seen a lot of guitars that you have them. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a lot of guitars around here, but I probably have EMGs on at least 10. So they're taking over slowly but surely. I wanted to ask you about the Sustainer pickup, actually, because I've never tried one, and I've always wanted to try one. And so it has, like, switches. Is that the switch, one of them makes it into a single coil? What's the other one? Is that, like, the big sustain boost switch?
So about the single coil, I don't think it is supposed, because I don't have a coil tap switch, and like you said, they're coming out with them soon when they come out at NAMM. What I did was that basically, you have your pickup selector, your regular pickup selector, either bridge or neck. So these 2 switches right here, I have 2 switches right here, as you can see. One switch, which is this one, just turns on the Sustainer pickup. It just turns it on. The other switch has 3 modes. One mode has it that when you pick a note and you keep it sustained, that Sustainer will sustain the note to 2 octaves of that note higher. The one in the middle just takes it 1 octave higher, and the last one just keeps it at the same octave that you played it in and just sustains it, basically. But what I noticed that makes it single coil is that if I keep my Sustainer off and I move the pickup selector to the neck where the Sustainer is, and it is an off pickup, it just sounds so single coily, and it does not even just a little bit. It just sounds like it was made to be single coil because you are using a pickup that is off. I still don't understand how the guitar is making noise. I don't know if it is bringing out a little bit from the bridge. I don't know if the bridge stays on a little bit when you do that. I'm sorry. The bridge obviously does stay on. I'm not sure, honestly.
I think
there is a little bit of sound.
I think what it is they have like a built-in preamp inside the Sustainiac, and same with the EMGs. They have like a built-in preamp that if you take the battery out, they're still going to play, but it's going to be at like very minimal volume, and it's going to sound kind of broken up and weird. So maybe that's what it is. Mm-hmm. Maybe that like with the EMGs, it doesn't sound that good when the battery's dead, but maybe when the power's off on the Sustainiac, that's what it's doing. It's like bypassing the preamp and just kind of going passive.
Mm-hmm. I think it does do that, honestly. Plus the fact that it does give out just a little bit of noise. The fact that it just give out a little bit of noise and less output, since it is less volume. Single coils do have less output. They are less volume than the humbuckers at the same height, and they do give out a little bit of noise. I'm sure you know that with the singles. This is what made me think of this sounding like the single coil too. It does sound like it too. Not only does those not having noise, having a little bit of noise and do that. That gives me evidence of it. But yeah, that's what made me think it was single coil. It does sound very single coily when I do that, and pretty cool too. I like it. Yeah.
With all the videos that you do you have like a favorite one, or do you have a couple that like blew up that got you really popular? Like when you think back to all your videos, which ones stand out to you?
Now, not necessarily blowing up, but some videos that have gotten a decent amount of views, and some videos, well, they are videos that I enjoy watching a lot or just am proud of. I'd say one of them would probably be surprising is, what's it called? It's that the first one I could think of is that first Miley Cyrus song. It's that adding heavy guitars to a Miley Cyrus song. Now, not a lot of people enjoyed it. I am not going to lie. It did get a little bit less views than everything else, and I knew some people didn't hit like or comment on purpose and were just surprised, but most people loved it. I honestly loved the sound of it, not because it was different. It's a good pop song. It's a catchy pop song. I don't listen to it. I don't put earphones on and just sit down and listen to it. I'm not going to say I'm a huge fan of Miley. She is a great artist, though, but it's just such a catchy song that I kind of imagined heavy guitars in the back of it, and it turned out great, and I just love it so much. Other than that would probably be a couple probably covers. I probably like them because I like my movement in them. Nowadays, I think of what I'm doing other than playing that I love in a video so much is basically what makes the video stand out more to me other than the playing. And when it comes to things that have to do with playing, basically anything that would probably be an original solo I wrote where I would think about all the chord tones and not just mindlessly shred, which is a problem I sometimes have, and I probably be thinking, when I be thinking about the chords behind me and playing according to them, I feel proud of myself because that's what I should be focusing on as a musician. And videos that blew out that probably I like too much is that video. That video I posted up today as a repost, that was the very first video actually that blew up on my page and was able to go over 60,000 views on my page before it got reposted. So that's why I posted it again today, because I didn't have time to come up with another video for today, and I just love it so much. Other than that would be the Avenged Sevenfold viral video, and what's it called? The how to impress people who don't play guitar. These videos blew up pretty well, and up there in Berkeley, in Boston, there were a lot of people that just came up to me and they're like, "Hey, you're that Avenged Sevenfold video guy, right?" Or some other people would come up to me and be like, "Hey, you're that video where you're showing people how to impress people with the guitar, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, that's." I'd say those two viral videos were one of my best ones when it came to something that was planned to go big, because I did plan for them to go big. I kind of had an idea they would, and fortunately they were able to go big, so I was glad they did, honestly, without even having to pay any bigger page to get them reposted. They were just noticed, and a lot of people started reposting them, and other people noticed, and it just blew up, I'd say.
It's a weird thing going on those repost pages when they choose your video, because when you post on your page, it's your audience and your audience likes you. But when you get reposted on another page, man, it's just strangers who don't know you, and they fucking try to tear you apart sometimes. Like, I know on the ones that I've had reposted, I did one if Eddie Van Halen played the solo for Enter Sandman, and I kind of converted it, used all the same positions and everything. But, dude, people got fucking so upset. They said, this guy sucks, like all this crazy stuff. I'm like, what the hell? And, like, I look at, whenever I see all my friends like you or like any of my other guys get reposted, I always look down to see what people, even Mick Rockland, I'll see that he'll do something, like he had one chord hacks, and it's basically you add like a seventh or something on there to each chord, and people were getting so mad in the comments, and I'm like, they don't even know who Mick Rockland is, obviously, like, show some respect over there. But like in your videos, I've seen a couple of them. Do you go down and look through the comments when you get reposted ever? And what's your reaction to them?
Now, the past couple videos that have been reposted and gone viral in this past month, there were over 100 comments in some, and I just never opened it up because I was either up in Boston or just didn't have the time. But before, when they first happened, I was just crazy excited. It was the little boy inside of me just blew up, and I started reading everything I could. There were a bunch of comments, I'd say, that were either hating on the video or just saying it was such a stupid idea that it shouldn't have been posted, or stuff like, anyone can do this, or stuff like, hey, he's copying Jared Dines. I got a lot of that, copying Jared Dines, which I honestly don't get. I think the idea that I'm doing memes is probably copying Jared Dines. Other than that, I don't get it. The fact that people say that, I don't want to say bothers me. I honestly don't care, because at the end of the day, if you scroll up, it's not that commenter that's up on the video. Well, I don't want to sound like I'm bragging, but it's me and not him, so I don't think that one comment is going to affect me. The thing that surprises me, though, is that some of those hate comments with a bunch of stupid reasons to comment like that get sometimes even over 100 likes on that certain comment. I'm like, over 100 people are thinking the way that you do. What is this? Are they joking? I mean, this can't be real. This can't be serious. I don't believe this. But compared to the amount of good commenters, it is very low. But the fact that you still see shit like that happen just really surprises me. And you know what's funny? I don't want to call out anyone. I don't want to be a dick to anyone. But every single asshole every single person that comments like an asshole, you just click on their page. It is either going to be a private profile with less than 50 followers. I'm not trying to say, hey, followers matter or stuff like that, but like with less than 50 followers and like 0 posts, or someone that doesn't even do anything that has to do with, that doesn't even play music whatsoever, or does anything that has to do with music. It could be some real estate agent. I've seen real estate agents be dicks to me on videos. Or some dumbass, you know, it's surprising. It's surprising. And I just think you are in no position whatsoever to be saying something and think that what you're saying is valid, you know, or stuff like that.
Yeah, I just hope you don't let it get to you, because it shouldn't. Like, obviously, like you said, every time you click on them, maybe they have 200 followers, they have 0 posts, they got a private page, or you look at their videos, maybe they are good, but they're hating because they're jealous that they're not getting views on their videos, which, hey, man, that's not our problem. I'm sorry, but do something different, I guess. My favorite thing was on the video of how to impress people who don't play guitars. I was scrolling through, people were like, damn, he's good, all this stuff. And then there'd be one that's like, yeah, no shit, that's how you impress people. You're just good, like, because you're doing like badass shit in the video. I'm like, yeah, I guess that's true. How to impress people is to be clean with, like, your playing was good. So I that's like one of the criticisms I saw.
Yeah, I remember those. Now, I don't want to say those criticisms were them being dicks. That video surprisingly did come out a little bit. I mean, I don't want to say that it was too good, but I was trying to show, I mean, I'm sure people that clicked on that video were expecting to see something very simple that beginners that just started out 2 months ago could do. Now, I know it did involve some practices that did involve some advanced techniques or stuff like that. But I just wanted to play something that would surely impress people that didn't play guitar, and not just play Wonderwall or something like that. And I know it is a little hard for most people that are watching those videos, but I didn't mean for it to come out that way. I was just trying to make a joke. Honestly, I was just trying to make a funny video. Players that have been playing for a while, I'm sure, can play like that, could probably do stuff and probably know that. But at the end of the day, it just came out as a joke. Honestly, it's not supposed to be 3 chords showing you how to impress people. It was just supposed to be a funny little video, basically.
Yeah, I think most people get it. It's just those ones stand out when you're looking through your own comments. You're like, damn it, what the hell? Dude, Omar, you're a super cool dude, man. I appreciate you coming on. I mean, is there any websites or anything you want people to check out?
I mean, honestly, website. I don't have any. A lot of people ask on comments, hey, what's your YouTube? Is there a YouTube link to this? I honestly have nothing other than the Instagram page, and see every single day. That's everything that I have for now. Not saying, also, before I continue, I appreciate you too, seriously. Like, I really appreciate the fact that you wanted to do this with me too, because I know you're doing it with a lot of people, and most people I see you do it with are crazy, insane players, or just people that are insanely famous on Instagram. So it's an honor, I guess I can say. So thank you. And other than that, it's honestly don't have anything other than Instagram at the moment. Also on purpose, because like I said before, I don't plan on making my living out of teaching online or doing videos online that would help people. Not that it's wrong again, but I have a vision of playing in a band, and I feel like starting out a YouTube or a website that offers something is probably going to lead me somewhere else, because I might be able to make money out of it. And I might start focusing on that because it's giving me money. And I don't want to do that, honestly. I don't want to move my focus all the way to YouTube or move my focus to some online product or online service that I offer. I would rather just show people that I enjoy playing the guitar and be able to make entertaining videos while I'm studying at college or just working a part-time job and at home, and trying to see where that will lead me, basically.
Habibi, this has been a lot of fun.
Habibi, hey.
I know a little bit. I know a little bit of Arabic.
That's awesome. This has seriously been fun, though.
Dude,
thank you. I appreciate it. What mic are you using? It sounds great.
Huh?
What mic is that, by the way? Because it sounds great coming out of my
You know what? To be honest,
Smart.
what you hear is from my webcam. It's the microphone that's built in, and this records on my side, and then I mix it in with the recording. So I'm glad that the webcam's doing its job.
So my cam just sounds great. Holy shit. Because I haven't heard someone sound this good on video call before. It's crystal clear.
Yeah,
seriously.
We've got a good internet connection here. Your video looks good and clear, and audio's nice, so hair's looking strong.
That's good. Thank you.
Everybody go follow Omar at Omar J Guitar. Dude, it's been a lot of fun, man.
It's been great. Seriously, I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Thanks a lot, and you have a good night, man.
For sure. You too, man. We'll talk soon. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Keep posting.
Take it easy, Azizi.
You too, man.
Right,
bye
bye.
Bye.
You guys like that little Arabic spitting that his way? Thanks for watching, guys. Shout out and thank you to Omar. Man, that's a lot of fun sitting down and doing these things with people. He's a really nice dude. Young 20-year-old, up and coming. I call him up and coming because I'm old. I'm 32. But 8 years in, I thought he'd been playing a lot longer than that. His skills are sharp. If you haven't seen the How to Impress People Who Don't Play Guitar video, we were talking about is he's got these like fast, basic scales, but they're fast and they're played very well. So that's why people are like, yeah, of course. All you have to do is be good at guitar like this guy is. So check his videos out if you haven't seen him yet. Omar J Guitar on Instagram. And thanks so much for watching, guys. Please hit the subscribe button, hit that like button, comment down below. Tell me guitarists you would like to see on here in the future. And I'll see you guys next week here, same time, same place. GuitarGuts.com. Have a good one.
Going to a party with no one seen alive. I was struck by lightning, walking down the street. I was hit by something last night in my sleep. It's a dead man's party. Who could ask for more? Everybody's coming, leave nobody at the door. Leave nobody and so let go. Don't run away, it's all me. More dressed up with nowhere to go. Walking with the dead man, dead man. Waiting for an invitation to ride. Oh, walking with a dead man,
Got my best suit and my tie.
With a shiny silver dollar on either eye. I hear the chauffeur coming to my door. Says there's room for maybe just one more. I was struck by lightning, walking down the street. I was hit by something